Go open your refrigerator right now. Don't clean it, just look at it. I'd bet money there's something in there dying. A bag of something slimy in the drawer. Half a jar of a sauce you bought for one recipe. The average family throws out about $1,500 of food a year, and most of it doesn't die in the pantry. It dies in the fridge, cold and forgotten. Here's the thing, though. The fridge isn't the problem. What you're putting in it is. Stock it with the right 15 things and it stops being where food goes to die and starts being the hardest working appliance in your house. I've done the freezer and I've done the pantry, so today we're doing the fridge. 15 things I keep in mind year-round, why they save real money. And number 1 is my favorite because it doesn't cost a dime. Let's go. Number 15, whole carrots. Not baby carrots, whole ones, with the dirt still thinking about them. Here's what the store doesn't put on the bag. Baby carrots aren't babies. They're big carrots run through a machine that whittles them down into little stubs, and then they charge you about double per pound for the privilege. You're paying extra for less carrot. A 2-pound bag of whole carrots costs almost nothing and keeps a month or more in the crisper. Peeling one takes 10 seconds. That's the whole trade. Number 14, a head of cabbage. Pound for pound, the cheapest fresh vegetable in the store, and it keeps 2 months in the fridge, sometimes longer. Lettuce gives you 4 days and then turns to soup in the bag. Cabbage just sits there, patient, waiting for you. Slaw, soup, fried up with a little sausage, shredded raw on tacos. One head feeds you all week for under $2. It's not glamorous. It doesn't need to be. Number 13, celery, but wrapped in aluminum foil. This one changed my grocery bill more than it had any right to. Celery in the plastic bag, it came in, goes limp inside a week. Take it out of that bag, wrap the whole bunch in foil, snug, and it stays crisp. 4-5 weeks. Sometimes 6. The foil lets it breathe just enough. I used to throw away half of every bunch I bought. Now I throw away none of it. Same celery, different wrapper. Number 12. Cheese in a block, never shredded. The bag of shredded cheese costs more per pound. And here's the part they don't advertise. Every shred is dusted in a powder to keep it from clumping in the bag. That same powder is why it won't melt smooth in your sauce. You're paying extra for worse cheese. A block keeps longer too, because there's less surface for mold to get a foothold. A grater costs $5 once. 30 seconds of grating. Buy the block. By the way, tricks like that foil one, I've got a whole book of them. Everything I do to run this house for less, written down in one place. It's on my website, the link's right below this video. Go grab it if you want it. I won't bring it up again. Number 11, a wedge of real Parmesan. I know the wedge looks expensive next to the green shaker can. It isn't. The wedge is actual cheese, and it keeps in the fridge for months. And a little goes so far, you'll wonder how you emptied those cans so fast. But here's the real reason it's on this list. The rind. When you've grated the wedge down to the hard rind, don't throw it out. Drop it in a bag in the fridge, and next time you make a pot of soup, toss a rind in while it simmers. It melts flavor into that pot like you cooked it all day. You already paid for that rind. Most people pay for it and then throw it in the trash. Number 10, eggs, and stay with me because this isn't about eggs, it's about the date on the carton. That date is not an expiration date, it's a sell-by date. And eggs kept cold in the fridge are good for weeks past it. 3 weeks, 4, often more. People stand at the fridge and throw out perfectly good eggs because a number on cardboard told them to. If you're ever unsure, put the egg in a glass of water. Sinks and lies flat, it's fresh. Stands on its end, use it soon. Floats, toss it. That's it. The cheapest protein in the store, and half the country's throwing it away on schedule. Number 9, a carton of heavy cream. Sounds fancy. It's not. It's a workhorse. And unopened, it keeps in the fridge far longer than milk does. Here's what it replaces. Every jar of Alfredo sauce, every packet of creamy, anything. You cook something in a pan, chicken, pork chop, mushrooms, you pour in a splash of cream, scrape the brown bits up, and you've got a sauce that jar companies charge $4 to imitate badly. 1 carton, a month of sauces. Whip it with a little sugar, and you've retired the tub of frozen whipped topping while you're at it. Number 8, corn tortillas, not flour corn. A stack of 30 costs a couple dollars, and they keep over a month in the fridge, long after a loaf of bread has gone blue. Tacos, obviously. But quesadillas, wraps, breakfast with an egg folded in. And when they go stale, they don't go bad. They go stale, you cut them in wedges and crisp them in the oven, and you've made the tortilla chips they sell for $4 a bag, pennies a serving. Bread should be jealous. Number 7, lemons. And here's the trick, because most people do this wrong. Lemons in the pretty bowl on the counter last about a week. Lemons in a bag in the fridge last a month. Easy. A real lemon replaces that bottle of lemon juice that tastes like the bottle. It wakes up a pot of soup, it keeps cut fruit from browning, and it's half of every salad dressing you'll ever need, which brings me straight to the next one. Number 6, a jar of mustard. Dijon, if you've got it, plain yellow works too. This might be the best kept secret on the whole list, so listen. Look at the salad dressing aisle sometime. $4, $5, $6 a bottle, a whole wall of them. Now look at what's in the bottle. Oil, vinegar, mustard, seasoning. That's it. Spoonful of mustard, splash of vinegar or that lemon from number 7, pour in oil while you whisk, pinch of salt. The mustard is what holds it all together so it doesn't split. That's every vinaigrette on that wall, made in 90 seconds, for about 30 cents. One jar of mustard keeps in the fridge close to forever. That whole aisle is selling you 30 cents of ingredients in a $5 bottle. All right, we're better than halfway, and so far your fridge is out cooking half the store. But the back half of this list is where the real money is, the things that replace whole categories, not just single items. And number 1, like I said, is free. Don't go anywhere. Number 5, 1 big tub of plain whole milk yogurt. Plain, not the little flavored cups. Those are dessert wearing a health costume, and you're paying triple per ounce for sugar. 1 plain tub, and count what it replaces. Sour cream on your baked potato, you won't taste the difference, I promise you. The base of every dip and dressing that calls for mayo, swap in half yogurt. Stir in your own jam and you've made the fruit cups for a fraction. And soak chicken in it with some seasoning for a few hours before you cook it. And it comes out more tender than anything a marinade bottle ever did. That's 4 or 5 products off your list. 1 tub. Number 4, the pickle jar you already have after the pickles are gone. This one costs nothing because you already paid for it. Don't pour that brine down the drain. That's vinegar, salt, and spices somebody charged you for. Slice a raw onion or a cucumber, drop it in the jar, back in the fridge, and in 2 days, you've got a second jar of pickles free. I do onions. They go on burgers, tacos, sandwiches, everything. You can also soak chicken in that brine before frying, and it comes out juicy like the restaurants do it. That's their trick, and now it's yours. Keep it cold and use it up within a few weeks. But the point is, you bought that jar twice and only paid once. Number 3, a jar of bouillon paste, the concentrated kind, the soft paste in the little jar, not the dusty cubes. Here's the math, plain. A carton of broth runs $3, $4 and gives you 1 quart. 1 jar of paste costs 6 or 7 and makes close to 40 cups. Same shelf, 10 times the value. It keeps in the fridge the better part of a year, and it's not just for soup. A spoonful in the water when you cook rice. A spoonful in gravy. In a pan sauce. In beans. If you buy broth by the carton regularly, this 1 jar saves you north of $100 a year all by itself. The cartons are mostly water. You've got water at home. Number 2, yesterday's coffee. I'm serious. If you've ever bought an iced coffee at the drive-thru that was $5 for coffee and ice, and you make coffee every morning and pour the last of the pot down the sink, stop doing that. Pour what's left into a jar and put it in the fridge. Tomorrow afternoon, ice, a splash of milk, done. That's the $5 drink made from coffee you already brewed and were about to throw away. If drive-thru coffee is a habit, and for a lot of folks it's a daily one, this jar is worth over $1,000 a year. A jar of the coffee you were dumping. And number 1, the drippings jar. If your grandmother had one thing living in her fridge, it was this. A jar with a lid, and every time you cook bacon or roast a chicken or brown sausage, you pour the fat in there instead of down the drain, which, by the way, your pipes will thank you for too. That jar keeps for weeks and weeks in the cold, and it costs nothing. It's fat you already bought, riding along free with meat you were cooking anyway. And it beats the bottle of cooking oil at almost everything. Eggs fried in a spoonful of bacon fat. Potatoes roasted in chicken drippings. Cornbread in a skillet greased with it. Vegetables that your kids will suddenly eat. They sell butter-flavored this and bacon-flavored that all over the store, trying to bottle what you've been scraping into the trash. The real thing is free, and it's better. That's my number one, and it always will be. Now, let me say the quiet part, because there's a pattern running through this whole list, and it's worth seeing plain. The baby carrots, the shredded cheese, the bottled dressing, the broth cartons, the drive-through coffee, the flavored yogurt cups. Every one of those is the same product. It's your own 10 seconds of work, done for you at the factory, and sold back to you at double or triple the price. That's the whole business. Nobody's hiding it, they just count on you not doing the math in the aisle. The store makes its best money not on food, but on convenience, on the peeling and the shredding and the whisking you could do at your counter in under a minute. I'm not saying never buy convenient. I'm saying know what it costs and buy it on purpose, not out of habit. Because right now, most kitchens are paying a full-time markup on part-time laziness, and it adds up to hundreds a year, quietly, 50 cents at a time. So here's your one thing for today, and it's the easiest one on the list. Next time you cook bacon this week, probably don't pour that pan down the drain. Find a jar, pour it in, put it in the fridge. That's it. You've started. The rest will follow. And tell me in the comments, what's the one thing that's always in your fridge? The thing your mother kept, the thing you'd feel poor without. I read every one of these, and honestly, half my best tricks came from you all in the first place. Next time, we're flipping this whole video on its head, the things you should never keep in the fridge. Because some of what you're refrigerating right now is going bad faster because it's in there. That one surprised even me. I'll see you then.